good morning. Sorry, Cap Kunsavadi Mai. How are you doing today? Tribly Thai from Thailand. I hope you're doing well. Bit of a cloudy day today, friends. Again, we've been seeing my videos, etc. At the moment. We're definitely into rainy season. And Falanga, posting a picture of himself in Phuket with a raincoat on, talking about it was the worst weather he's ever experienced, and la la la. It's the rainy season, Falang, foreigners, tourists, wherever you are, you got to get used to it. You have hot seasons, you moan about that because it's too hot, and then we have the rainy season. It's just what it do, and it rains. But it doesn't rain all day like it does in the United Kingdom from dawn till dusk. It just rains for a few hours, and that's it. Boom. And then you get these biblical thunderstorms, great to watch, and you got a big, and that's it. And finish. What the hell? Anyway, but it's one Parahasabodi Thursday here in Thailand, and for instance, and then the evening after yesterday's craziness with all the transfers and everything, everything's gone quiet, and the only thing was started to evaluate. The only thing what's come out now is all the craziness by the media now, because they've got nothing else to report. And it appears that now every man and his dog now is in for Wirtz. And the latest crap, and I'm sorry, it is crap, is Liverpool are in for Wirtz. There's no way on earth Liverpool are going to spend 120 plus million pounds on a player. Not happening at all. Just not. And it's not the fact that they don't have the money. They're American owners and they ain't going to spend. My God, they've just squabbled and screamed and whatever about whether they're going to get Van Dijk and Salah on new contracts and how much they're going to pay them. And they've also got to do a rebuild as well, because they've got to bring the new players. Talk about Frimpong, they were talking about other players, etc. For instance, they were linked with, and they think they're going to spend another 100 some million pounds on for instance, Florian Wirtz. Not happening. It's an old nonsense. And also, some people also, why do they, and again, for lie, and it's just this lie, for instance, again, it's just the media lie. And, for instance, and they were talking about it on Talk Crap yesterday, for instance, with Jan White, and they were saying how Gary Neville needs to be, who didn't understand when the full story of why the Macanatis went on the pitch to complain. And he was, for instance, what was the full story and what was the real reason and blah, blah, blah. And he told, Nuno to, put his CV in and, quit, his resignation letter and quit. And again, and then there was this thing about Jim White asking, should football pundits be more accountability, have a more accountability? And I think 100% they should, because they don't, because they come out with crap. The media come out with crap, and people buy it like God knows what. And the mere fact that, and I heard, according to when the Floats family, came over, and it was only his mother and father. Why are people saying that Florian Wirtz came with them? He didn't. It was his mum and dad. I'm damn certain. I'm 99.95% certain it was just his mum and dad, and they flew from the Netherlands to Blackpool to avoid the press, and unfortunately got snapped. And for instance, just to meet not Pep Guardiola, to meet, for instance, the Manchester City hierarchy. That was it. Okay, and then they flew back. They didn't go via Anfield to meet Liverpool, because that's what you're getting at the moment. They flew into Blackpool because it's not very far from Anfield, so they went to speak to Liverpool, because Liverpool in the race now to fly for Florian Wirtz. Liverpool not in the race. They never met. The family never met. Liverpool. Any person from Liverpool, maybe somebody, maybe a ground control at the airport, with a Scouse accent, probably that. But other than that, they didn't do it. So it's another lie. Again, for instance, the media coming out with these lies, people putting out these lies, these tweets and things like that. Breaking news: Florian Wirtz family met Liverpool officials. No, they didn't. They came to see Man City. And what's it called? And Pep, why wasn't Pep Guardiola there? Well, he's busy doing other things. And it's not Pep Guardiola does the signing of the contracts. It's the Manchester City. It's the Tiki. It's the Hugo. It's the Kyrgyzstan, etc. For instance, it's for instance who do it. Like so. For instance, it's not up to Pep. Pep's an employee. Pep has a say, but he's an employee by Manchester City. So why the hell should Pep be there? He's also spoken to Florian Wirtz on many occasions. So, and again, media crap. Again, just slagging off Man City. Why wasn't Pep there? Because originally, in the previous crap, what the media said, they said, for instance, Florian Wirtz met with Pep Guardiola. Florian Wirtz's family met with Pep Guardiola. That was yesterday's tweets and reporting. And nobody met with Pep Guardiola because Pep Guardiola wasn't there. I believe he was out of the country. Okay? Where he is, it's up to him. Nothing to do with me or you. So, but again, it's just the crap. What's it called? The media puke up. Today, City Chief, I was just reading there, who I'm a little bit about them because I think sometimes they talk a lot of crap. And they were saying, for instance, United are in for him. There's United who got banning a open top bus, for instance, for a barbecue. They win this Europa League, which they shouldn't do. I hope, for Christ's sake, they shouldn't. They're also, for instance, penny pinching and cutting budgets and not paying for tickets, etc., for staff, etc. Absolutely penny pinching. And they're going to spend 123 million quid on a player. I don't think so. But again, another load of crap being spewed at the media, picking up by a Man City website or whatever. It's questionable saying that Manchester City United are actually in for Florian Wirtz. If they're not, it's between Real Madrid, outsiders, Bayern Munich, and Manchester City. Okay? And that's it. Simple. Nobody else. Nobody else. Nobody else. Nobody else. Okay? Or whether it's going to stay Leverkusen. That's it. Nothing else. If you heard anything else, it's just people talking waffle and people writing things and getting away with it. No accountability, writing waffle, nothing, and then coming out with crap. Okay. And for instance, why would he? Also, the question is, then someone asked. I was asked about between City and Leverkusen. Why should he come to City, and why I believe we're more favourites than Leverkusen than Munchen. And the reason why is because he would be more. He is the replacement for Kevin De Bruyne, even though and that is a big shoes to fill. He's the replacement for Kevin De Bruyne. He knows exactly what his job is, why we're there, what we're doing, where the people are going to put him around him, his place, his job. If you went to Munchen, right, they have to find a way to put him in the team. Okay? So they'll have to find a place. They want him because he's a great player. Not because they need him. They want to have a bigger squad and put great players in. They're like what Real Madrid do. They're like what, for instance, Paris Saint-Germain when they bought in Messi and things like that. They didn't buy him because they did need him, but they didn't have a clear plan or clear action. They're doing it. Bayern Munich are doing it because they're Bayern Munich. Number two, because they want to win everything. They want to dominate and have a farmers' league in Munich. Once they go in the Bundesliga, and have the best players. And so they don't have a clear plan. That's the reason why he'd be better off at Man City, and that's where I think the interest towards Man City is more greater. And I think the family need to understand this, and that's the reason why they came over to Manchester to talk with the hierarchy, to say this is the plan, this is what we expect, this is the 5-year plan, this is okay. And so for instance, and to explain everything, and they think they needed to hear from the horse's mouth, and that's the reason why they came over. Okay, so whether it's going to happen again, for instance, I normally put this on a 5, and I'm going to put it on a 7. Okay, and I'm going to put it on an 8 because quite honestly, I'm more happier now about that. The fee Again, I've listened to a lot of crap, a lot of talk crap, guys. You know, Carvisov, of course, again, for instance, and they talk about. We originally was told that it was going to cost 100 million from Manchester City, but and Bayern Munich was supposed to be paying 150 million. What's it called? But you know, because again, Leverkusen don't want him to go to, so you'll have to pay more, which I thought was quite funny. Now it appears that things are a role reversal. Now it appears that, for instance, Mutin only want to pay 100 million, where Man City are happy to pay the 150. So, for instance, 150 million euros, 125 million pounds or something. 23 million or whatever. Anyway, so what's it called? But so that's interesting as well, because Bayern Munich will say again is because they don't care. They want him, but they don't want him. Say, for instance, they're quite happy to wait another season. Man City need him now, today, and we want him. We've got a clear plan of what's happening. Munchen will, it will get you on a cheaper next season or the season after, which means they're not desperate for him. Man City are, Munchen are not. So Munchen don't want to pay the money, don't want to pay. Quite happy to let him stay at Leverkusen for one more season, or we'll pick him up next season, which means they don't have a clear plan of actually why he's with him. Apart from the fact that, for instance, they don't want to cough up the extra money, so they're quite happy because again they got players to do the job, so he'll be a fit in, and it's like having 4 strikers and getting another and saying, do you understand what I mean? Okay, so this is what I feel this is happening. Why I think Man City are more in pole position than. That's the reason why I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, because I think Man City are more pole position now than ever before. Because of I believe, for instance, I think the reason why the family listened to her needs to hear it from the horse's mouth. And for instance, so they don't need it to hear it from Pep Guardiola, because Pep Guardiola is not the one. For instance, doing the deal. It's the City hierarchy. Pep Guardiola is part of it, but he's not the one who's doing it. So, anyway, so let's have a look. What else was also interesting yesterday? Again, for instance, there was not like much. Liverpool have made representative made contact. See, there you go. That's more believable. Liverpool representatives have made contact. They didn't meet him when they came over. Okay. As well as meeting the Wirtz family, as they also met again, CF Bayern. That's crap. They didn't. So, for instance, and I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. And then it appears that, for instance, and then this Becker, again, another German website said Florian Wirtz was in Manchester alongside his parents. Okay, but I'm not sure. I really don't. Anyway, so I'm not buying that at all. Anyway, so possibly, maybe, but again, I don't think so. I really don't. I think it was just his family meeting with the hierarchy at City, simple as that. Anyway, let's move on. Irrelevant, regardless if he wasn't, but it's not a massive thing. But I just don't believe that. Okay, but I certainly don't believe they came over to beat Liverpool. Definitely not. Jack Grealish. Let's talk about Jack. Jack Grealish is could be on his way. For instance, a loan move more likely. Maybe Newcastle wants to show in the most interest. Jack, I'm going to miss Jack. I like Jack. I really, for instance, I've always been a Jack fan. I think he's got a lot of crap, etc. From the media. For instance, again, they like to bring you up, take you down. And last time, I think, for instance, he was in a bar having a drink on his night out. And he bought a few people drinks, like a decent guy he is, and he had wanted too many drinks, and he was supposed to be news that, but it's not. It's got nothing to do with news, and the poor guy can't have a drink. We know he likes to drink. I like a drink. What's it called? And sometimes you get worse the wear. Okay, so what's it called? But you shouldn't be. It doesn't go about character, because quite honestly, if you live where I live in Thailand, for instance, you're going to see a lot of people getting drunk, a lot of people doing stupid things. But what Jack Grealish does is this much, and but he gets ridiculed and talked about so much. What's it called? Do I think his time's up at Manchester City? I've got to say, yeah. Not because of anything else. I just don't think, for instance, he's not going to get the game time. He's not going to get. He's been given opportunities this season, because again, World Cup is next season, I believe, or the Euros or whatever, another thing. So, and he really desperately wants to play in that. But the thing is, he's not going to play well, is for instance, he's not going to get game time. So and it clearly fails now. He's not going to get. He's not getting any kind of game time. And for instance, so for better for him is to go. Um, we just we got we you know for instance, I think Man City are changing their philosophy of the way we're playing with fast wingers, fast football rather than his football, etc. For instance, he's great to hold up the ball, slow the game down, control the game. Great. What's it called? But is that good enough for him? No. So, for instance, I think for his own welfare, his own playing career, I think he needs to leave. So, if he goes to Newcastle, big up to him. Maximo Peroni was closing to sell Maximo Peroni to Como. No surprise. Everybody was looking forward to seeing this youngster. That's why I worry about Echeverry. But it appears that, for instance, he looks like he's on his way now, for instance, to Como. Jacob Wright, what's it called? He has completed a move to Norwich. Callum Doyle returned back after the loans, but he's Man City are going to make £2.3 million. So that was good. So, for instance, and good luck to Jacob, and shame it hasn't worked out for you again. It pains me to see when players don't work out, especially youngsters. I always wanted to see our academy just bring in a conveyor belt of youngsters, so we don't have to go out and buy other players and spend ridiculous amount of money, and then having these guys in for. But again, for instance, for some strange reason, I'm not at the club. I don't know behind the scenes whether these guys, what was the reason for them not staying at the football club? Why they're not coming through the academy, going straight in. I'm being interested to watch what happened with Divine Mabamba, who's absolutely doing fantastic. ADS. See what happens to him. For instance, again, game time. It's a big question mark, but it's a shame when you see good youngsters and players, especially like Doyle, Callum Doyle. I know he's back at City, not getting the opportunity. What's the reason? And so we don't really know. Any other news? Jack Grealish. Frimpong. Again, Liverpool. That's like Liverpool going to get in Jeremy Frimpong. So they're going to fork out the money. This Wesley guy from Flamenco, Manchester City are set to submit a bid for him. What's it called? A defender, for instance, and somebody we need. So I'll find out a bit more information about you about tomorrow. So it's Thursday, and so we got tomorrow, and then we go to Wembley. Wembley, the famous Man City. I'm going to Wembley. Oh, I can't wait. I've been there quite a few times. Wembley. I've seen us win. Well, I was at the Wigan game. Worst game ever. Worst Wembley trip ever. For me, what's it called? Shocking. That was the last time I went on a coach. It was like 9 hours getting back. It was ridiculous. Coach driver was the worst ever to Wembley. So often, so either drove down, flew down, or for instance, took a train down. Even the trains, I'll still think twice. So it's either flying, for instance, or taking a driving down. So what's it called? I was the Watford 6-0. 6-1. I went 1-0 down. And David Silva, and that was great. That was a good long weekend for me. For instance, I wasn't with the Stoke Man City game. I have a Danish daughter. I was in Denmark at the time. My daughter was getting confirmed, doing the Danish confirmation. So I was in Denmark. So I missed the Yaya goal. I was, for instance, I was at the semi-final for against United, for instance, which was great. Amazing, great atmosphere, absolutely superb against the atmosphere. I was at the League Cup, League Cup against Liverpool, where we won it on penalties. So I've had a really nice times at Wembley. It is still an event, still going down. So I would love to. If it was in England, I'd be down, going down to Wembley. So, but anyway, but other than that, anyway, guys, I'm gonna love you and leave you. True Blue down from Thailand.